The best reading season is upon us. January is my favorite reading season because all of my favorite books of the previous year come out, and as an avid reader who has an obsession with watching book-related videos, nothing can be better. So I spent the last couple days watching a bunch of videos from amazing book creators all over YouTube and the internet, and I've decided that I'm going to compile recommendations from different videos into one and read these viral books and see what the hype is all about. Starting off with Btown by Frederick Bachman with almost 500,000 reviews and a 4.29 star average rating on Goodreads. Hello guys, I started this book late last night. I think I got like 60 pages in, not even. I got to chapter 9, page 59, and this is my very first Frederick Bachman book. I've heard so much about him. Everyone has a lot of good things to say about his writing and his books, so I feel like I have high expectations for this book, so hopefully I like it. Anyways, from what I've read so far and what I've read in the back, this book is about a small town in the middle of nowhere called Btown, and everyone in the city lives and breathes hockey. They have this junior team that's competing in a really big tournament that could potentially change the lives of those who live in that city, because I think slowly over time, from what I've read, their economy is going down. They don't have anything really to keep their city afloat because slowly over the years people have moved out, businesses have shut down, and there's not really a lot going on in this town. This book is in third person and it jumps point of view quite abruptly. It follows the citizens of this town, and I thought it would be like one chapter it'd be this person and then the other chapter it'd be another person, but it switches really quick, but it is separated by paragraphs, so that makes it easy for me. So far I've met a bunch of people. I think I've met at least 5 characters at this point, and it wasn't as confusing as I thought it would be. I started tabbing some stuff, some quotes that I loved, but the thing that really got me into reading this book and picking it up is the first chapter. Literally the first chapter, the first page of this book. Chapter 1. Late one evening toward the end of March, a teenager picked up a double-barreled shotgun, walked into the forest, put the gun to someone else's forehead, and pulled the trigger. This is a story of how we got here. Now, if that doesn't make you want to pick up this book immediately, I don't know what will. It just really tells you something tragic or something that happens right in the forefront, and I like that because I'm anticipating something big that's gonna happen. Anyways, I'm gonna read more into this book and update you guys in a little bit. I was just flipping through the book and I saw a spoiler. Oh my god. It is later in the evening and I got to about this much through the book, page 223, chapter 28, and a lot has happened since last time I talked to you guys, but I'm gonna rewind and talk about my thoughts while reading the first half of the book. Like I said before, there's a lot of POVs in this book. It's in the POVs of the people living in this small town. I don't even know how many characters I've been introduced to, probably more than 5 at this point, and everyone is going through their own things in their life. Everyone is fighting their own battles in this little town, and the one thing that they all have in common is hockey is essentially their life. They live and breathe hockey, and it can cause so many problems and hostilities, but then at the same time it brings them together as a community. It brings them lots of joy and happiness. They would celebrate and dance and laugh, and they don't even know they're celebrating with someone who they had a bad past with, and they just continue on. Like, they forget everything goes out the window when it comes to hockey, and they put hockey first all the time. Good morning. I ended up finishing this book last night, and let me tell you, this is my first official first read of 2025. The first book I finished this month was the last book in the Harry Potter series, but I don't count that as one because I started it in 2024. So this is my first official book I finished this year, and it did not disappoint. This book is about hockey, but it's so much more than that. The atmosphere that the author made in this book was insane. I felt like I was alongside the characters going through everything that they were going through, and oh my god, this is the first book where I didn't feel neutral about any characters. It's like either I love them or I hate them, and it just shows the unwarranted loyalty we have towards our friends and family. Like, this is a small town, they have each other's back through and through, and sometimes not in the best way, and staying silent basically makes you complicit in these horrible things that are happening in this town. And like I said, there is something tragic that happens to one of the characters in this book, so please check your trigger warnings. This was like such a gut-wrenching, devastating story that ended in a way that I didn't think it would end. I got so emotionally attached to some of these characters that I was weeping last night, and I don't know, this book, the writing, everything was just so perfect. The writing was very simple. Bachman had such an impactful way of imparting the messages in this book in short anecdotal sentences. This is easily a 5 stars for me. I get now why people rave about Frederick Bachman, and I plan to read more of his books. I actually have 2 more upstairs, and I feel like what I just said about this book does not depict the overall like message of this book. I think you just have to read it and experience it to understand what I'm feeling right now. The next book in this video, hopefully it's more uplifting and happy than our first book, is The Ministry of Time by Kellyanne Bradley. This book went viral during the end of 2024, and all I heard was that it included time travel and romance, and that was enough for me to go out and pick up the book myself. It has almost 100,000 reviews on Goodreads and an average of 3.62 stars. So let's get to reading. This book follows an unnamed main character who thinks she's applying for a regular job but figures out that the British government has figured a way to time travel and is given a job to look after a person from the past and help them adjust to their new life in the future. I am 58 pages through this book so far, and it's going a little bit slow for me. Our female main character, I think she remains unnamed throughout the book. That's what I heard. She's got a job as the bridge for the ministry. Essentially, she's the bridge to help the people from the past who have time traveled adjust to their new life, and she's looking after this commander from the 1800s, specifically 1847, named Gore, and they like essentially kind of rescued him from the expedition or mission he was on, because essentially everyone died after that. And right now he's actually like kind of adjusting well. I don't know if he's adjusting well mentally, but like from what I've seen in the book, if I was from the past like a century ago and I got randomly transported to the 21st century, I feel like I would have like a psychotic break or a mental breakdown from all the new things, everything overstimulating and overwhelming me. But he's actually doing pretty good. So far there has been lots of talks about like history, like different wars, things that happened in the past, and a lot of politics, so it's kind of making me a little bit sleepy. So far I like the relationship that's forming between her and Gore. They got to the house, they're staying at the house, that's where they're living or cohabiting or living as roommates, and like the ministry has obviously keeping an eye on them. He was like, do you have the keys or do the doors operate by magic passwords now? And he was like, open sesame. I don't know, that just made me laugh. Anyways, yeah, this book is a little bit slow, but I heard it's gonna get super interesting later on, so I will update you guys in a little bit. Good morning. It is the next day, and I got this much into the book until I unfortunately decided to DNF it. This book has such a like unique, interesting concept of time travel and people from the past adjusting to their life in the future as part of a scientific experiment. But I just can't wrap my mind around it and read it for enjoyment at the moment. I feel like I need like a pick-me-up light-hearted rom-com, so I decided to pick up Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. This has been popping up everywhere on my For You page this year as well. Ali Hazelwood, we all know her, she's a popular like romance author. This book is like a science rom-com, Nemesis to lovers sort of thing, and I've never been so giddy and a little while until I read this book. And that just proves that I needed more of a book that's light on the heart and light on the mind. Speaking of mind, in 2025, I don't know about you, but I'm prioritizing my mental health. One of the ways that I'm doing that is by remembering to take my Magic Mind health shot every day. I have collaborated with Magic Mind in the past and they're so amazing. I personally take these shots myself to help with my biggest problem that I'm battling so far this year, which is sleep and energy levels. This tiny 2-ounce bottle helps boost energy, focus, crush procrastination, and elevate mental clarity, all while reducing stress levels. So what better way to start the new year by putting you and your mental health first? This new year, Magic Mind is inspiring audiences to embrace mental wealth, which is a proactive investment in mental resilience built on 5 essential pillars, which is sleep, diet, exercise, stress management, and supportive supplements. Now, this campaign is not a quick fix. We all love a quick fix, but sometimes you can't get it, especially surrounding our mental health. Instead, it's focused on cultivating sustainable habits that set foundation for long-term mental well-being. The 24 hours pack, which includes the focus and sleep shots, are bundled up for the first time and is 45% off if you use my code down below. I'll also have it in the screen, but I'll have it down below so you guys can use it. Anyways, let's get back into this reading vlog. Hey guys, it's a little bit later. I'm this much into the book, page 104, chapter 8, and I'm loving this so much. This is exactly the book I need after reading such books that need a little bit more brain power, because this one is so easy to read. I forgot how much I loved Ali Hazelwood's writing, and I don't think I talked to you guys about this book. This book follows B. B is a scientist, and she has this nemesis in school and now at her workplace named Levi. And Levi is an engineer. They end up partnering together for a scientific project, and he's being this stone cold mean guy that just tries to avoid her, because in grad school I think he did everything to avoid her, and he's doing this now too, and she feels that he's just getting in the way of everything that she's trying to work on, because this project means everything to her and her career. But I'm loving it. Oh my god, guys, I've never felt this giddy for 2 characters in a long while, just because I think I've been reading more fantasy, literary fiction, and books that have heavy topics in them, but this, I love them so much. I'm loving this. I'm eating this all up. I feel like I can read this in one sitting because it's going by so fast. And B, the girl in this book, also has a Twitter page of women or students or anyone really to post about their difficulties in the science world or just in school in general. And she has this pen pal who she's been talking to, obviously anonymous. She's been talking to this guy named Schmuck, and it's anonymous. They don't know each other, and it's so obvious. It's so obvious. They need to take the signs, and this is giving he's been in love with you ever since type of vibe or trope, and I love that. He's just acting this way because he can't have you, girl. Hello guys, it's a little bit later. I am this much through the book. I know, I feel like I haven't talked to you guys much, but I wanted to update you guys before I finish this book. I am on page 276, chapter 20, and I love everything about this book. Once they start working on their project, it's the forced proximity of working together that forced them to start talking, rehash some memories that are good and bad, and things from their past come up, and it's just, I think it brought them together so much closer. I love it. The banter, the transition from angry, mean, can't stand each other banter to flirty, playful banter. oh my god, I'm living for it. However, though, I'm still looking for the conflict. There's always a conflict, right? And it still hasn't come. I mean, I'm not complaining. I love the lovey-dovey that I'm getting right now, but I'm looking for that conflict that will chop up their love story and kind of make them stronger and closer together. And I feel so attached to the characters right now. I love it. I have like less than 100 pages left, and I think I'm gonna finish it because I need to know what happens. Right after I talked to you guys, it just blew up and fell apart. Like, I don't even understand how it spiraled to this. I can't with this right now. Hello guys, it's the next day, and I did end up finishing Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood last night. And I don't know if you saw it by my reaction, but oh my god, the conflict came out of nowhere. Like, it went from 0 to 100 with no warning. It was like a slap in the face, and it escalated so much. But I guess it was my fault because I said, where's the conflict? But it just escalated so much. I'm like, how did we even get here? It was good, but like, maybe give us a warning next time. But I loved the romance between them. I wish there was more banter because I like the banter between them. It was funny and sweet and flirty, and I just loved everything about it. It was like You've Got Mail, but in the science world, and I absolutely loved that movie. I still do. It was definitely a book that I needed after such a hard book like Btown that dealt with like really like deep topics. And also it's prepared me to go into another deeper book that went viral this year. It was all over my For You page, especially like any book by this author, and I feel like you already know because he was in my thumbnail, and that is The Nightingale by Christine Hanna. I've actually had this for a long time. I just was intimidated by the size of it, but I actually started reading it last night, and let me just tell you, the font is like perfect. I'd rather a book be this long and have pages with like the perfect size font and the perfect amount of words. Like, it's a really fast read. Like, I would read a page in like maybe 30-45 seconds. I actually didn't time myself, but I felt like I was reading fast because there's less words on the page. It was less overwhelming. I'm only like 5 chapters into this, page 53, and I'm loving it already. I'm loving the calmness, but it did jump into like the war right away. So this book takes place during World War III in France. It says it illuminates an intimate part of history seldom seen, the woman's war. So it's in the point of view of women, and we're following these two sisters named Vienne and Isabel. Vienne is the older sister. I think they're apart. They're from a broken family, and Vienne has a husband and a child. The husband gets sent to war, and Isabel is the rebellious little sister who gets kicked out of different types of schools. The reason why she's getting kicked out of school is because she doesn't want to be the stereotypical girl back then. During one of her lessons, they were learning how to eat an orange and peel an orange with a knife and fork, and she was like, what are we doing? There's a war going on, and she doesn't want to learn like how to be a woman. She wants to do something to help. She wants to be a nurse or like drive an ambulance, something to help. But she's sent away by their father to go see her sister and stay there because the father thinks she'll be safer there. I love this quote in the front. It says, "An unforgettable portrait of love and war." I already feel like I'm gonna cry, but my friends are coming over visiting me for a couple days, so I think I'm gonna put this off until after because I want to sit and binge and feel all the emotions and just ride the roller coaster that Christine Hanna puts us on. I'll see you guys when I'm reading this. It's a beautiful sunny day. Hello guys, it is a few days later. I didn't film much the past couple days because my friends were here and I didn't do much reading as I'd like to, but I got this much into the book. Page 260, chapter 19. them. And so far this book, I get why some people don't like it because it is very like slow burn. Like it's just going through the day-to-day lives of the two sisters, Vienne and Isabel. And honestly, I'm liking it. I'm loving it. I am so fascinated about history and the war, which I never thought I'd say because like I found those things boring in high school, but like in their point of view, the point of view of women during the war is just amazing to me, because every time we'd hear about the war, we hear the experiences of the soldiers and the men and not really the women. So this is really going really well. I love it. So far there's not a lot happening plot wise. Like there was like a little plot twist that I didn't see coming, because there's this like present point of view which I didn't know who it was, but now it was revealed who it was, I think, if I'm getting it right, if I'm understanding the story right. And so far it hasn't made me cry, but I feel like it's gonna make me cry because something was revealed when I was reading this last night in the last chapter that I read, and I was like, this is gonna rip my heart out. I already know. So I'm gonna binge it all today. It's like 1:30, 2 p.m. and I don't have much going on. I have this much left of the book. It's going by fast because like I said, the writing or the wording or the words are pretty big and I love it. I'd rather a book be this thick and have big words. So let's get to reading. Also, it is snowing outside and it's like big fluffs of snow falling. It just looks magical with the sun, but I feel like the camera won't pick that up. So I guess you guys can't enjoy the view with me. Guys, the first like sad and devastating thing happened. I mean, this whole book is sad and devastating because of the war, and a couple chapters ago they started grouping all the Jews and putting them in a bus and sending them to the camps, which is a big tragic thing that happened in our history, and something tragic just happened and it just came out of nowhere. I was not expecting that, and wow, I can't even describe how I feel. This book is like breaking me all over. I have this much left, and I don't know why it's making me cry this much. Hello guys, it's a couple days later. I was editing this video and I noticed that I didn't give you my final thoughts or final review on the last book we read, which was The Nightingale by Christine Hanna. I have no words. You saw how I was reacting throughout this book, and I have no words. Don't know how to describe what this book did to me. My first 6-star read of 2025, and I'm so glad I picked it up for this video because I don't know when I would have picked it up. This genre is out of my comfort zone. It's historical fiction, and history was not my strongest subject in high school. I found it very boring and bland. It was just hard to learn because you get so many facts. You just gotta remember it all for the test. But this book being told in the woman's point of view, the sacrifices they made every day, they didn't have the sense of safety or security they had before. Like, they were fighting their own battles, own war every day, while the men were out in the front fighting. And it was just, the writing, Christina Hannon's writing was so good and heartbreaking. Her storytelling really transport you there with the characters. It feels like you're there side by side, the characters, and experiencing everything that they're experiencing and all the emotions that they're feeling, especially when there's like something sad and tragic that happens. Like, I was so sad and frustrated throughout this book, and by the end of it you don't even realize how connected you are to the character, and all of a sudden you're just like sobbing, crying. That was me. That was my experience. I don't know about you, but that was me. And the last few words of this book: wounds heal, love lasts, we remain. I'm pretty sure that's a famous like quote. But oh my god, that was like the most perfect way to end this book. Like, it's just such a beautiful quote. And I was reading the author's note. She said that she went to France and got the privilege to talk and meet with the women survivors of the war and just tell their stories. And it makes me realize that there's so many untold stories from women who were in the war and we'll never get to hear about them. Like, that's just like devastating to me. And she also included pictures from when she visited of what she thought the places would look like in her book. And I'm like, oh my god, those are real places, and that's like close to how I imagined every place in the book, especially Carré right here. That's how I imagined Vienne's house, just because I've been to France and like kind of the more rural places, and it's just so peaceful out there. It was actually for a school trip that I volunteered to go to, and it was like around Canadians' contribution in the Second World War, and I actually got to go to like Normandy, like Juno Beach, and I got to tour the trenches that the soldiers were in, and we went to this like celebration where Justin Trudeau was there and some of the veterans that were in that war, and it was just so cool to see. Like, it was an amazing experience. It was one of the highlights of high school, and I wish they did more trips like that. Anyways, yeah, I love this book. If you haven't picked it up, you should pick it up. It's amazing. Maybe it might change your life like it did for me. I don't know. Anyways, these are all the books we read in this video. I agree with majority that these books are amazing, except for one. Well, I don't know. Like, I don't have a formed opinion on this yet, just because I soft DNF'd it. I will definitely come back to it because it has like such a unique plot, like time traveling. I have never read about time travel before, so I'm definitely coming back to this. But these books were amazing, and you should definitely read them if you haven't. And that just goes to show that sometimes the internet can be right. Sometimes going with the trend is the way to go, but other times we all have our own opinions and what we like and what we don't like, and it's okay. It's okay to not like what everyone else likes. Thank you for staying till the end of this video. If you stayed till the end of this video, comment this snowman emoji. Anyways, don't forget to use my link to get your Magic Mind bundle, and I'd just like to thank Magic Mind for reaching out to me and collaborating again, and I hope I see you guys all in the next video.